When it comes to the scariest cryptids, a few might pop into your head. Maybe you've heard of aggressive Sasquatches attacking people, like in the famous Ape Canyon story, or perhaps you know about divers and swimmers being attacked by the Lusca, a giant octopus said to live in the Bahamas. But for me, the scariest cryptid of all is the giant jellyfish. Regular jellyfish are already pretty frightening, especially since some of them are among the most venomous animals in the world. But giant jellyfish take things to a whole new level of terror. Their sheer size and the mystery around them make them feel like something out of a horror story. To show just how creepy they can be, I've gathered a few real-life stories of giant jellyfish sightings from different parts of the world. In 1953, deep-sea diver Christopher Lobe had an extraordinary experience that was later shared in the 1967 book Great World Mysteries. While testing a new diving suit designed for extreme depths, Lobe descended into the dark abysses of the ocean. His mission was to explore uncharted waters, but what he encountered was far beyond any known marine life. Emerging from a deep chasm, he witnessed a massive, pulsating creature rise from the depths, so large it could easily cover an area the size of a football field. Its translucent glowing body gave off an eerie light, making it hard for Lobe to comprehend exactly what he was seeing. As Lobe watched in stunned silence, a nearby shark swam into view, oblivious to the danger. Without warning, the giant creature extended a tendril-like appendage toward the shark, paralyzing it instantly. Lobe was horrified as the creature began to engulf the shark, absorbing it into its gelatinous body in a slow, nightmarish process. The entire event was surreal, as the shark seemed to vanish without a struggle, dissolving into the massive creature's form. Filled with a mix of awe and terror, Lobe realized the sheer power of the mysterious organism before him. It was unlike anything he'd ever encountered, and the fact that it could paralyze and consume a shark with such ease left him deeply unsettled. As the creature slowly sank back into the depth from which it came, Lobe ascended to the surface, eager to share what he had seen. Despite reporting his experience, many dismissed Lobe's story as exaggerated or imagined. However, for Lobe, the encounter was very real, and the memory of the giant, pulsating creature stayed with him. His account remains one of the most haunting and detailed descriptions of an unexplained deep-sea cryptid. Lobe's story didn't go unnoticed. Years later, a Chilean hydrographic team reported seeing something very similar, a large black mass near a deep-sea trench. This sighting added credibility to Lobe's experience, and also sparked rumours that his story inspired the infamous black carpet cryptid, which is believed to be a massive sea creature that hunts on the ocean floor. Another captivating giant jellyfish sighting occurred south of Bermuda in 1969, reported by Bermuda Triangle enthusiast Richard Winter. At the time, Winter and his colleague Pat Boatwright were conducting oceanographic research in the treacherous waters of the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Winter had just finished filming the movements of a buoy when things took a strange turn. His safety diver, Pat, grabbed him by the shoulder and pointed into the depths. What they saw was nothing short of awe-inspiring and terrifying. Below them, something massive was rising toward the surface. Due to the rough seas and poor visibility, it was hard to gauge the creature's exact size or how far below them it was. Winter estimated that it could have been anywhere from 100 to 150 feet beneath them, but its width was staggering. The creature appeared to be at least 50 feet in diameter, possibly much larger, and it was perfectly round in shape. What made it even more unsettling was its deep purple colour, pulsating at the edges as it slowly moved toward them. There was no obvious motion of water, which is typical of jellyfish propulsion, adding an eerie sense of calm to its ascent. As the two divers moved toward the surface in an attempt to escape, the giant creature stopped moving up and began its slow descent back into the murky abyss. Although the sighting was brief, it left an indelible impression on Winter and Boatwright. Pat thought it might have been a squid, but Winter was convinced they had witnessed a giant jellyfish, one far larger than any known to science. To make matters even stranger, the edges of the creature were noted to have a pink hue, adding to its alien appearance. The Bermuda Triangle has always been a source of mysteries, and this sighting only adds to the strange tales surrounding it. Not all stories of giant jellyfish can be taken at face value. In fact, some may even be the work of creative writers looking to sensationalize the mysterious depths of the ocean. One of the most infamous, yet suspicious, accounts involves a French fisherman named Henry Bell. According to this tale, Bell was swimming with his wife and 2 children in the Bay of Biscay when tragedy struck. Out of nowhere, they were reportedly attacked by a jellyfish as large as a car. Bell was the only survivor, with his wife and children falling victim to the creature. Naturally, the authorities were highly skeptical of Bell's story, suspecting foul play and even detaining him on charges of murder. However, Bell managed to pass a polygraph test, which led to his eventual release. While this story is dramatic and heart-wrenching, there are several red flags. For one, polygraph tests are widely known to be unreliable, and cryptozoologist Carl Schuker later traced the story back to a single tabloid article. There were no other reports or credible sources to verify the incident, making it likely that this was a fabrication meant to stir the imagination of readers. Despite its dubious nature, the tale of Henry Bell continues to float around, adding to the lore of giant jellyfish encounters, whether real or invented. Fast forward to 2005, and we have another mysterious encounter involving a giant jellyfish-like creature. This time, the setting was the tropical waters off the coast of Thailand, where 2 French divers, Henry Asor and his companion, were on a routine dive. They were inside a diving cage, meant to protect them from sharks and other large predators, but what they encountered was far beyond anything they had imagined. As they explored the depths, they noticed a strange brown mass rising from the deep waters below them. The mass moved with purpose toward a nearby school of fish. Then, something even more chilling happened. The fish froze in place and fell sideways, as if paralyzed, before being consumed by the mass. It was as though the creature had the ability to stun its prey before devouring it. Meanwhile, the radar system aboard their ship detected a large, unidentified object in the water, confirming that what they saw wasn't just an illusion. Curiosity got the better of Henry's partner, who decided to swim out of the cage toward the mysterious mass. 15 minutes passed, and he hadn't returned. When rescue efforts were launched, the brown mass had vanished, along with any trace of Henry's companion. Despite multiple attempts to revisit the site, Henry never saw the creature again. To this day, the exact nature of the mass and what happened to his partner remains unknown. This encounter highlights not just the physical size of these mysterious sea creatures, but also the potential danger they pose. Whether it was truly a giant jellyfish or some other undiscovered predator, it adds to the growing list of ocean mysteries that remain unsolved. The last story took place in the 1970s, but wasn't shared until the 1990s. A cryptozoologist named Chad Arment discovered the story online and reached out to the person who shared it for more details. According to the user, a friend of his had worked as an undersea welder for Gulf Oil in the Gulf of Mexico. The friend quit his job after he and other welders repeatedly saw strange, glowing, headless creatures in the water. These creatures moved incredibly fast, like living fire hoses. One day, the welder finally saw what was hunting these fire hoses, a massive, terrifying creature that was so big he couldn't even begin to describe it. The welder immediately left the job, took the first helicopter out and never returned to the ocean again. One of the most famous alleged giant jellyfish sightings took place on the SS Kuranda, a ship that reportedly had a terrifying encounter with a massive jellyfish-like creature. According to this story, the ship was travelling through turbulent waters when it suddenly hit something beneath the surface. The collision seemed unusual as the ship came to a halt, and what happened next sent shockwaves through the crew. According to the story, when a crew member went to check what had caused the disturbance, he found that a giant jellyfish had attached itself to the ship's hull. The jellyfish was not only massive but also highly dangerous. When one of its tentacles touched a crew member, the man fell to the ground in agony, his skin appearing as though it had been scalded by boiling water. The rest of the crew was thrown into a frenzy, trying to figure out how to detach the creature from the ship. The SS Kuranda was supposedly saved by the timely arrival of another ship, the Hercules. Armed with powerful water hoses, the Hercules crew blasted the jellyfish until it finally detached from the ship, allowing the SS Kuranda to escape. However, this close brush with disaster left the crew deeply shaken, and rumours of the encounter spread quickly. As intriguing as this tale is, it has some glaring issues that cast doubt on its authenticity. First, there is no verifiable record of the supposed captain of the ship, Langley Smith, ever existing. Furthermore, records show that the SS Kuranda had been renamed several years before the incident allegedly occurred in 1973, a detail not mentioned in any versions of the story. Additionally, the story seems to have only one source, the book Sea Monsters, which compiles various eyewitness accounts of oceanic cryptids. However, much like the SS Kuranda sighting, many of the other cryptid sightings in this book have no corroborating evidence or secondary sources. This lack of verification, combined with the implausible details, suggests that the SS Kuranda incident is likely more fiction than fact, potentially a fabrication designed to thrill readers with a larger-than-life sea monster tale. Despite these issues, the SS Kuranda story continues to capture the imagination of cryptozoologists and enthusiasts of maritime mysteries. It stands as one of the more infamous what-if scenarios, where the lines between myth, misunderstanding, and potential hoax blur into one grand. By now, you can probably see why I consider giant jellyfish to be the scariest cryptids out there. What's funny, though, is that many of the reports labelled as giant jellyfish don't actually describe jellyfish at all. Instead, they seem to be about enormous, unknown sea creatures that just happen to resemble jellyfish in some way. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the scariest cryptid sighting in this video, and I will see you in the next one.